This week on Next Gen NYC.
Had his assistant pack up my belongings, and my stuff was packed and outside of Charlie's apartment before I even got back to the US. I was still in Singapore.
Oh, he's sketchy, right?
Is he?
Google him. Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back. Today we're going to be recapping the final episode of the first season of Next Gen NYC. Let's get right into it. Yeah, you guys, so this was the season finale, only an 8-episode season, which I think is understandable. I think that when there's, a brand new show, it's still, kind of being tested a little bit, and I think 8 episodes was a good amount. But honestly, I think this was very successful. I saw somewhere that it was reported that it was actually one of Bravo's most watched shows in the past year. So I think that's great. I mean, the irony that, in a way, maybe this was the Roni reboot that Bravo was looking for, because it was a great show. I didn't think I was going to like it because, they're all pretty much my age. I'm 22, and I don't know. It's something about watching people my own age that kind of makes me cringe and I don't know. But this show, I went in it thinking I wasn't going to like it, but I actually really did like it. So let's get right into it. So it's the start of the day. We see everybody waking up. It's the last day at the Hampton, not the Hamptons, the Jersey Shore. That's where they're at. The Jersey Shore, the birthday trip for Brooks. Riley isn't feeling the best. She had this huge argument with Georgia, and she felt like no one had her back. Ariana checked on her. She sent her a little message, and Riley pretty much says, listen, I want my friends to have my back in public and then call me out in private. And I agree with that. Ariana says she understands, and she's apologetic for not doing that. So Gio cooked breakfast, which is nice. So they're all eating and having breakfast outside. You can tell by Riley's body language that she isn't fully over what happened. She still feels very, even a little uncomfortable being there. Emira, she says, Riley, you haven't even really said anything. What's going on? And Riley's like, yeah, I've learned my lesson about speaking. Gia says to Riley, I don't want you to think that you can't say anything. I just want you to know that your voice... No, I want you to know that your voice matters. It's just the way you say things. Riley says, I know, I understand that I can't, say something mean and then erase it. But, at least I acknowledge what I say. When Georgia was talking about her idea, I knew that I shouldn't have said anything, and I wasn't going to. I told you guys I wasn't going to, but y'all made me say it. Georgia then jumps in there and she's like, well, that would have been your opportunity to really think about it and not say it. Riley says, I just felt like Georgia and I were friends, and if a friend is asking me for my opinion, I thought I could give my opinion. Gia says, I just feel like there's a nicer way of saying it. That's all, Riley. Gia's boyfriend then clocks Gia. He says, I think she can talk however she wants, and if you don't like it, then don't speak to her. Boom! There you go. Gia's boyfriend, go on and check your little girlfriend, because you put her right in her place. You're right. Riley then cries because she says, well, I will watch how I say things. And everyone's like, no, we don't want you to be walking on eggshells. We want you to be yourself. And she says, but I feel like I can't win. If I talk, it's wrong. If I don't talk, it's wrong as well. I felt really bad for her. Brooks did try and console her, and a lot of them did too. They were like, no, don't cry. It's okay. But y'all made her feel like that though. You can't make her feel like that and then be like, oh no, never mind. But then they all have to leave because they almost got attacked by a flock of birds. They need to go inside, clean up, and pack up so they can get going. Georgia and Charlie were the first ones to pack up their stuff, so they're waiting for everybody. They're sitting back, and dang, I said this last week, but it looks like Charlie can't go in any hour of any day without smoking something. It's not healthy, but it's his life. Georgia says that her and Omar are exclusive now. It's been 5 years since she's been with someone, officially. Also, Charlie apparently dated Lindsay Lohan. That's crazy. But Charlie says to her, congratulations, I'm so happy for you. Georgia would like for him and Omar to get to know each other a little bit more. And the group gets going. I loved seeing them as they were on the road. They stopped at a gas station and they were just grabbing the most unhealthiest stuff, sodas, nachos, drinks, all these snacks. And to me, that's what makes a road trip. These types of stops. Let's stop at a gas station. I'm going to get the whatever pizza they're selling in there with a soda. That is a vibe. However, there were two people that were not too happy about this. They stayed back in the car as everyone else is having fun. Georgia and Charlie. They were being so dramatic and so ridiculous that just because the group stopped to get some snacks, which by the way, they needed to fill up the gas anyway. That's the real reason they stopped. But just because of that, Georgia's like, oh my God, like we gotta get home. I'm gonna call Omar to see if he can get us a car. So her and Charlie literally leave in another car. That is so crazy. Like, really? And then some of the others in one of the vehicles, they're talking about how dumb that is, what they just did. They're talking about Georgia's little idea for her nightclub, mainly how the boyfriend is going to invest $1 million. Like, that's crazy. She's only known him for 3 months. But Ariana's like, yeah, no, he told us that he will do it. Like, he is going to do it. And Emira then drops this bomb. She says, he's also an alleged scammer, so... And everybody's like, what? And she's like, yeah, Google him. Whoa. I mean, I'm not surprised. I said this last week. If we've learned anything from Bravo, Jen Shah of it all, is that when somebody cannot tell you what they do in like 3 words or less, yeah, red flags should be popping up. But anywho, they arrive back in New York. Everyone's back to their places, settling back in. Some days have passed. Brooks FaceTimes his sister. He was working on a new design for his mom's brand. He is a creative director for Meredith Marks line. Chloe asks him about his stuff, his brand, because he had mentioned to his mom about a possible merger of putting Brooks Marks under the Meredith Marks conglomerate. His mom agreed, but apparently Chloe and Seth didn't agree too much with it. They think that he should fly the nest and do his own thing. I'm gonna be honest, I don't see an issue with it. Like, when I was growing up, my mom was always like very business-driven woman, and so was my dad, but mainly my mom. And I would do business with her in a heartbeat because she's just very, very smart when it comes to business. I think Brooks and Meredith could work it out. I really do. But now Brooks is sort of second guessing this. So then we see Georgia and Omar going over the investment. Scamming allegations aside, I actually think the idea sounds pretty interesting. Like, I would like to actually see it's one thing to say what your plan is, but it's another thing to see the final project. I would like to see what that would look like. Not her idea of the cafeteria food, but a club that is an arcade. I don't know, maybe like an arcade vibe sounds fun, but I do feel like the bowling might be a little bit too much. Like, I don't know, maybe I don't know. But anyway, she's going over some designs and some stuff. Omar is talking about investing in it and whatnot, and apparently his friends are also going to be putting some money in this if they like it. So they're going to take a look and then agree if they want to invest in it. I don't get it. Moving on, Ariana and Riley go to the gym. Ariana is athletic. She was doing those pull-ups like they were nothing. After the workout, they go buy a drink, some smoothies. They talk about the trip. Riley said that this trip sort of gave her a different perspective. She says, I'm disappointed in myself. I don't want to be like Charlie when he's, at his age, getting into arguments and fights with everyone. I wish I could have held myself to a different standard on the trip. Ariana says, but you were getting so many people coming at you, so I understand why you reacted like that. And I am also really sorry for not, checking with you or being by your side right away. I definitely should have. And that was good. She gave an apology, no buts and ifs, ors. I thought it was really sincere, and they're back on good terms, which is great. I really do like their friendship. Ariana tells her that she should come over so that they could get ready for George's party together and leave together. Then we see a bunch of little scenes, a lot of like gym scenes, which is good. We see glimpses of Charlie, not Charlie and his friend Dylan. By the way, I heard something about him. So I don't know if you guys heard this, but there were quite a bit of people that were originally casted on the show, including Dylan. When some of them, though, heard that Housewife kids would be joining the cast as well, a lot of them quit, including Dylan. But he actually agreed to be a guest, so he would appear on a few episodes. But my question is, first of all, who the hell even are you guys? And why did y'all quit? Did y'all seriously think that this show would be picked up without the Housewives kids? That's a little bit delusional. And I mean, we could have done without him as the guest. He only appeared for a very, very little bit. Anyway, Meredith and Seth then go over to Brooks's apartment. He has a bit of a presentation for them for his brand. A lot of his items just seem to be pieces of clothing with his name and last name printed on them. I hope he starts with some designs, because like what it's like a hat that says Brooks Marks in a hoodie. Like, we got to be more creative, Brooks. But he did have this presentation for them. It was sort of a little bit like a Shark Tank, because he then, after showing them everything, he says, "I'm seeking $100,000 in exchange of 8% equity in Brooks Marks LLC." So Meredith is like, "Well, stop, hold on. I thought you wanted to do a merger with my company. This sounds like something totally different." He says, "Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't communicate this earlier, but I think I need to take a risk and build my brand." Meredith says, "I support whatever you decide." And then they agree to do the deal with Brooks. Brooks then wants to have a conversation with Meredith privately. So he says, "I'm really scared of not working with you. I've been working with you like 10 years. I started your social media, and I'm scared of what our relationship will be like without us working together. I don't want you to resent me for leaving." And Meredith is crying. I got emotional seeing this, I gotta be honest. She says, "Our relationship will be fine. I don't resent you. I'm excited for you. It's also hard because it's like you've grown up." I was like, "Aw, that was definitely touching." So, yeah. But I think the relationship will be more than fine. They're a very close family, and I love that for them. Moving along, we see Charlie and Omar meet up. Omar says to him, I didn't really get to speak to you at the trip. I don't know you, but I do know that the language you use is never okay for any woman. Charlie kind of just owns it right away. Like, "Yeah, I got carried away. I said things that I shouldn't have, but I take accountability for that." Charlie says that he respects Omar, and then they start talking about crypto. Also, Charlie said that he thought Omar was 10 years older than him, and I was like, "Charlie, you might need to look yourself in the mirror, because in what world do you look 10 years younger than Omar? He's only 2 years younger." Anyway, this crypto conversation was weird. I know crypto is a thing, but I'm one of the types of people that when I hear the words crypto, Bitcoin, Y and Z coin, I just, all I hear is scam, 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 abort mission. But they were into it, and apparently Charlie wanted to work with Omar. Okay, it's a new day. Brooks calls Emira. Emira is in Paris. So he tells Emira that the day before he met with Ava. When he met with Ava, he told her that, he missed her. He wished that she would have gone to the birthday trip, because remember, she didn't go. Ava then tries to say that she couldn't go because she had a fitting for the event and this and that, which, even if it was true, the way she was describing what happened in what day, it didn't make sense. It looked like she didn't even know what the hell she was saying. Long story short, Ava then told them, "I really needed to go to this event for my career." So Brooks is telling Emira what Ava told him, and Emira then shows us that this event that Ava went to was a pop-up. It wasn't anything grandiose. It was literally just a pop-up. So then it is time for Georgia's party. Omar arrives with some guy who's an investor. I'm sorry, these people just look so shady. Like, who? No, I'm sorry. A little later, everyone begins to arrive. Georgia is calling her club Club. So no one really is seeing the vision, though, of turning this into a club. They have fun being there. They like that it's an arcade, but they don't really see it. They don't see the vision. Charlie asks if anybody knows if Ava is coming tonight. So Brooks says that he spoke to her and she started to explain her event, and all of the things that she was saying were just really confusing and they didn't really make any sense. And he honestly felt like she was lying. But this was so embarrassing because as he's talking to this with the group, Ariana and Hudson are they sort of join in to hear what's going on, and Brooks is catching them up about how he doesn't really believe what Ava said. So Ariana, she asks him, have you seen Ava since all of this happened? And right when she says Ava's name, all of a sudden Ava arrives and is like right behind her. Which, by the way, Ava strolls on in with her new man, and I almost burst out laughing because what? Anyway, so Ava's like, is this about me? I feel bad for Ariana because she wasn't even in this. All she was doing was asking a question. But Brooks then says to her, here's the thing. I love you. I love our friendship. But some of the things you said just didn't make sense compared to what Emira told me about the event. Ava says, don't let people get in your head. I don't even know if she was invited. I was in the Hamptons. That would have been an 8-hour drive. Technically, yeah, I could have come, but I just didn't want to sit in a car that long. Hudson then says, I want to stay out of the middle, but I'm stuck in the middle. Ava then, before you know it, turns to him and she's like, why are you stuck in the middle? You don't have to get involved. She was getting so mad. And Hudson says, no, I'm literally, physically in the middle. I'm trying to get out of here. That was crazy. But Ava does apologize, and then everybody goes bowling. Georgia is now talking to one of these quote-unquote investors who says he really likes the vision, and she's saying, yes, imagine, look at all this energy, the joy, people are engaged. Now imagine this having a cooler, sexier vibe, combining it with a dance club experience. And he's like, yeah, that makes sense. So they shake on it, and I guess that means they have a deal. And everyone had some fun, and that was pretty much it. Then, to conclude the season, they show small scenes of the cast reflecting on their time this summer, and we see little clips of them, like Ariana and Hudson working on their fashion line, Brooks and his parents roaming the city, and also him working on his line. Then we see, the seasons change. We see falls arrive. There's little scenes of double dates with Gia and Ariana and their boyfriends. We see Ava talk to her dad about her new boyfriend who wants her to move in, which she might have to after hearing that she's gotten evicted. She's gotten a place to stay. Then they show up. Before you know it, then it's winter. And I was like, what? It almost felt like they tried to show 2 more seasons in the last 5 minutes of the episode. But here's how the season ends. So apparently Charlie started working with Omar, in his quote-unquote company or whatever the hell. But Omar and Georgia broke up. She actually posted a TikTok about it. Apparently she was stranded somewhere. She was cut off financially. He kicked her out of his apartment. And you're never going to guess this. Georgia is now a roommate of Charlie's. That's crazy. So we actually see her moving into the apartment of Charlie, so they're roommates again. That is a crazy turn of events. I was not expecting her to move back in with him. Listen, these people need to be really careful with these quote-unquote crypto and quote-unquote investors, because it's just some of the buttermilk ain't clean. But that was the end of the season, you guys. I thought maybe the finale would be a little bit more explosive, only because I feel like the past episodes were, but it was a good finale. Definitely a good way to wrap everything up. I enjoyed the season, as I said. For next season, because there will definitely be a next season if it was one of Bravo's most watched shows, I think that I'm a firm believer. I really am a firm believer when it comes to Housewives and some of these other shows. I always believe that people should be given more than one chance. I sometimes feel like one season isn't really enough. So I say go ahead and bring them all back, and we'll see from there. To be honest though, I could do without Charlie. I could do without Ava. I could do without a lot of these people. But the season was good. And, sometimes what makes a season, sometimes we don't realize this, but it takes everybody to have a good season. So maybe we should just give it let's give them all a second chance. But you guys let me know, who would you like to see come back? Who wouldn't you want to see come back? And yeah, what did you think about this show? Were you surprised by how good it was? Did you enjoy it? Let me know in the comments, you guys. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all next time. Y'all have a great one. Bye.